Hello, good evening. So today we have a little different topic to talk about. Like it's like a game, a small game where you want to just spot the key differences. Let me just hide it. Like for now, I just want to explain, and then probably later you can just see those columns. So, oops, sorry. Mm, So here we have a particular sample showing a pie chart where the A part has the incorrect version and the B part has the corrected version of one particular data set. Now it is representing sales by region. Now, if you can see, when I created these charts in Power BI, it gives me this particular representation. So, from looking at the chart, what you can see, what are those anomalies, little differences that you can understand from these two charts. So, we'll go step by step here. The first and foremost thing that I can see is the title itself. It doesn't seem to be very nice when you're trying to represent particular data. Sum of sales unit by region. Now, by default, Power BI or Tableau or such uh, tools will just pick those fields and create titles automatically. We need to rephrase those titles showing total sales by region. It's a crisp form of showing how you're representing a particular data set. The second thing, which is equally important, it is this legend. We can see blank is coming here. Now we don't know if that was a missing value of then there is a particular region. It could be that this data is part of west or east or south or altogether another region, which is the missing one, north. So for the time being, what you can do is you have to label it. Like for example, data was not available, the user should be aware of what happened to that data. If you can treat that, remove it. But removing is not always the solution because see, it is constituting around 1.16%. Okay, so it is also, even if as compared to 46% or 40%, it is low, but it is significant in amount. So you cannot altogether just remove that. Then the third thing, you can see that there are two colors used here in this graph, which is representing the light blue and a dark blue. So when you're creating categories, it is always best to use colors which are not in form of shades, so like lighter to darker version, along with other bold category colors. So we have replaced that to a green shade. It's easier to represent it now. Then comes the data labels. If you can see here, 1K, 0K, oh wow, 0K. Is it possible? So it's better to have one decimal or two decimal to make the data more meaningful. See that 0K was actually not 0K, it was 0.1K. And then we also have to show, denote the units, like what is K? It is in 1000 units. So these are certain things which are required to identify and understand to showcase particular data set. So that was it for the pie chart. Let's now jump on to the bar chart. Again, if you can see for the bar chart, we are trying to showcase price by region. Now you can understand if it's price, it should have particular denoted. Is it which currency it is? Is it dollar? Is it rupee? Is it euro or anything like that. So you need to denote that what particular field you're representing. Now, there is another concept of data ink ratio. Try to minimize the data ink ratio by showing the data in simplest possible way. You do not really need these data lines if you have the data labels represented on the bars itself or the axis, because your vision gets simpler when you have that data in particular field in a particular place, and you don't have to move around your eyesight to various parts of that chart. The third thing comes the readability, accessibility of the data. From the above chart, you can understand west, south, north, and east. The sorting is not correct. It is not in the sorting order of the price, nor it is in form of the alphabetical region sorting. So we have to correct it in a form where if you're trying to show the increasing order, then comes the title. So as we discussed the same in pie chart, again the title really makes difference. So we have to do little bit of understanding and perspective of how to draft a particular title. I think that was it. One bonus was this last part. A lot of people are missing out on renaming particular fields, but while making presentations to the clients, we need to understand that these are small mistakes which should be avoided for more accuracy in data. So, all the other three directions are showing as south, north, east with capitalized letter. I think west needs that too. So, you have to understand and make clearer presentations. So that was it for bar chart. Now comes the ratings. This is a very interesting one, I think, from the perspective of not only design principle but understanding the data quality and quantity. Now, as you know, that employee ratings, for example, are being rated from 1 to 5. Like, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. 5-star rating. But is it really correct to show it in this format? Like, for example, this is for each region, there are a lot of employees who have been rated. Here they have shown stepped legend, like, light blue for 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but then, come on, the ratings were around of 5, right? Then how come this legend has 7 here? That shows an incorrect legend. Why? Because employee ratings generally are average employee ratings for each region. Now, somebody could come and say that, come on, this stars cannot be 2.5 star, 3.5 star. But then when you average employee ratings, we really need to do that because we're averaging it out makes more sense. Okay. So we cannot have ambiguous y-axis. These data labels were incomplete. It had decimal point, but it was not shown here. And then there was little bit of anomaly in the shade of bars. Now, since it is not a categorical data, it could be categorical data like 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. These are actually categorical data, but when you average it out, it becomes numeric in nature. So, this is the correct form. We have a blended legend for ratings. For example, if there are two employees being rated, like one had 2.5, the other had 4, then the average will become suppose 3.5. This is how they correct shown. Then the corrected data label with decimal and the shade of bar. It cannot be a step because we have decimals. It should be a shade. So this is how we need to understand the correct way of representing the data. I also have published one particular small article of ratings. I will post the link as part of this YouTube video. You can just go along and read it in like 1 minute to understand how are these ratings impacting people to make their own choices. So that was it around the Spot the Difference series. I hope you all liked it. This is just the basic but very important when you're creating reports. And we have seen a lot of people making these small mistakes. You need to understand what is the correct way, how to showcase accurate data, and how to make a layman understand what is the correct form of data being quantified here. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Please subscribe